After many years spent behind a desk, Charles Matthews takes every chance he gets to play cowboy out on his Dripping Springs ranch. Whether he's riding his horse, feeding his longhorns, or showing his grandkids the ropes, Charles is a passionate rancher, and it's that same passion that's made him so successful. When he was growing up in Houston, Texas, Charles says the big city had more of a small-town feel.
It was a nice time to grow up in Houston and a good time to be able to spend the weekends playing cowboy.
Charles was born into a long line of Southern Pacific Railroad workers, including his father. He was brought up in a home that was just as devoted to attendance as it was to family and church, and with good reason.
And my mother was an attendance clerk in high school, which means I never was able to skip school. She kept pretty close tabs on me.
Charles's desire for a higher education stemmed from his parents, neither of whom attended college themselves. At UT, Charles embraced life on campus. In fact, he credits the university for equipping him with vital career skills.
So you had to be able to write. You had to learn to be able to write, but you also had to learn to be able to do good research. And in order to do that, it calls for preparation, being able to look at all facets, turn over every rock, and not leave anything to chance.
A diploma wasn't the only thing Charles left the university with. He also met his future wife, Karen, through his fraternity.
I met my wife on a fraternity sorority match date. And I would like to tell you that it was a match date as they normally do, but basically the fix was in. I knew who I wanted to be matched with, and I think she did too, and so we both worked through the back channels and made it happen.
Charles spent his college summers working in the Harris County Tax Office. There he developed an interest in studying law.
We made darn sure that we snuck upstairs and watched the trial. You learned a lot, you got familiar with the process, and that was one of the things that really helped form my view of wanting to get into the area of law.
Not long after he earned his law degree from the University of Houston, Charles landed a job at Humble Oil and Refining Company, which is now Exxon.
I was thrown into the fire immediately. I was only there a couple of months before I had a trial. And when you're doing trial work, as many of the trial lawyers know, you're out there on an island alone.
Looking back at his long career handling legal affairs of mega oil companies, Charles has much to be proud of. He was even named one of the 25 leading lawyers of the last 25 years by Texas Lawyer magazine. But for Charles, one achievement stands out.
I think the proudest moment of my career had to do with the Exxon-Mobil merger. And I was just very fortunate to be able to be in a place and a time to be able to experience that and to lead that effort.
Juggling a high-stress job and a growing family wasn't easy, but Charles did his best to give attention to both aspects of his life.
There's many a time when I would go to their practice, go coach a game, go back to the office afterwards.
Charles's two sons learned a strong work ethic from their parents. Both graduates of UT's McComb School of Business, Charles Jr. is a financial officer and CPA, and Jeffrey followed in his father's footsteps to become an attorney. Now retired, Charles enjoys spending time with his 5 grandkids on the ranch, just as his great-grandfather did when Charles was young.
Well, I love for him to come out here to visit us at the ranch because there's a lot of activities for him out here. And it's good to be able to open the doors and let them run outside as opposed to being inside with them.
And though he's no longer coordinating multi-billion-dollar mergers, Charles isn't slowing down. In addition to being on the boards of Frost Bank, Trinity Industries, and Four Star Corporation, he's this year's president-elect of the Texas Exes. He and Karen also endow scholarships in UT's College of Natural Sciences and Business School.
And I think that's one of the things that people should look forward to, is being able to give back to the university, because the university needs them, and the university was there when you needed it.
From UT to Exxon and even out on the ranch, Charles has managed to find success in each one of his endeavors. The key, he says, is passion.
I think it is still true today that you really need to find a passion, follow that passion, and that's what you need to do to have the best chance of ensuring success.
Tonight, we honor a man who's part lawyer, part cowboy, and most importantly, all Longhorn. Charles Matthews, Distinguished Alumnus of the University of Texas at Austin.